All right, man. Thanks for having me. First of all, like I said, man, I'm just tell you a little bit about me. I went to Southern University. I had 33 and a half sacks at Southern, two-time HBCU All-American. Not much about me, but since a lot of people don't know, just want to share my background and pass rush history. All right, so when we get into pass rushing, all right, the most important thing about pass rushing, we want to make pass rushing a reward, okay? It has to be the reward. It has to be everybody wants to do it. It's not just a me thing. It's a we thing. I teach my guys, everything you do to get after the passer, you benefit the whole defense. All right, so we don't do a I. It's a we. It's not a me. It's a we. So make sure everything that we know QB hurries, QB hits. They're just as important as sacks, okay? We don't want to get away from the idea and everybody thinks that I just got to get the passer down. No, as long as we make the passer uncomfortable, then we doing our job. That's the main thing we focus. All right. The third important part, win first down. Like Coach said earlier, you have to win first down. The key to winning first down is you limit the offensive playbook tremendously. All right. So the most important thing we want to do, we want to win first down, increase our chances of getting after the passer. All right. We control the line of scrimmage. You control the line of scrimmage by knowing down and distance. Know what you got to do. Know what kind of rush you about to give. Know what kind of hands you got to have. Know what kind of attack you about to get off. Everything of that is important. So we have to control the line of scrimmage. And the main thing I teach is effort. All right? Your effort. We have to be relentless. You have to be relentless. From the very first snap, we always teach our guys, get off the football. Okay? You have to get off the football. Why do you have to get off the football? You have to let this guy know that we're going to be here all night long, okay? You have to get off the football. Once you get off, you control the narrative of the game. If he sees that he's got a speed guy, especially in high school football, a lot of these guys can't deal with speed guys. So now from play one, if I just watched you run right past me, all right, now I have to think about it the whole game. It's in my mental the whole game, all right? So, and then last one, send your best one at the passer. Send your best guy at the passer. Everybody in high school football should know how to pass rush. You should not limit your pass rushers. Nobody has a set position. Your DBs, your linebackers, your big guys, your edge rushers, the best guys in high school football come from rushing the passer. All right? So I got a few clips, the we not me accolades. Just an example. You rush the passer, you make things happen. You rush the passer, and like Coach said, we gamble. You see a guy wide open. You rush the passer, no sack. But here, we in man coverage. He takes it for 6, okay? That's the best thing about rushing the passer. When your quarterback is uncomfortable, this was a tight game. We won 20-6, all right? You set the tone here. You take the air out of him. All right, the next one. Same thing. We not me accolades. We not me. So we send him. Everybody can rush the passer. Your Mike linebacker is one of your best pass rushers. Everybody gets after the football, boom, we got 6. Rushing the passer is probably one of the most important things that you can do in high school football. It changes the game, controls the narrative. All right, so when it comes about teaching your athlete, all right, learning your pass rusher, the main thing, like these coaches said, man, it's way more important than teaching football. You got to study your athlete. You got to know your athlete. You got to know what they're capable of. You got to know their why. You got to know what they want to do. A lot of these kids spend a lot of time watching these players in the NFL, watching these college football players, watching what you did. All right, give them a chance to show who they are. Give them a chance to allow them to be themselves. And then that's when you limit them. All right, after you study them, after you see what they can do. Don't come out here. The worst thing that coaches do is I got a standard. This is what I can do. This is what you're supposed to do within my defense. You can always enhance your defense by giving a kid a chance. And you learn that just by knowing the kid. Have conversations with the kid. It'll make you want to give them the chance. It's just practice. You know what works in your defense. You don't know what you don't know. So allow them to show you. And then after they've shown you that they can't do that or they can do that, give them the opportunity to do it within your scheme. Don't allow your scheme to keep you or your player from expanding their knowledge and expanding your knowledge and a chance to get them to the next level. All right. So basically, you want to teach general pass rush moves. Okay. You don't want to go out and give a kid a whole bag. You can't give a kid a whole bag. You want to teach them hands, hips, feet. All right. Hands, hips, feet. And then what they can do will come to you. But you want to teach general hands, hips, feet. What are you doing with your eyes? What are you looking at? All right. So a biggest thing you can do, one-on-ones in practice. A lot of high schools don't do this in practice, but one-on-ones in practice, like I said, give them a chance to show you who they are. Allow them to utilize the one-on-ones to get that independent pass rush time. All right, it's just as important as anything else. It's just like Indy. So you take your Indy drills and you're putting it into another Indy with another lineman. All right, we do it a lot at the next level, and in college you did it every day. So as a high school player, you should do it a little bit more and enhance what they possess. Okay. All right, as far as techniques, this is what we teach. Okay, you talk about awareness. A lot of people tell you to look at the football. All right, just from the very first part of the snap. You don't want to look at the football. Why you look at the football? If you're looking at the football, your head is in your stance. That means your head is cocked right. The first thing you got to do to get off the football is put your head back. All right, so one of the worst things we can teach is to eye the football. All right, it's third down. When I was taught growing up, when I was in college, I had a Mexican coach. He was 5'6", 310 pounds. I had just led the league, just led the SWAC in sacks the year before. He came, he told me I basically didn't know anything. All right, so he utilized this. He showed me some techniques. So the first thing that we learned, the first thing I learned from him is utilize the outside knee. All right, utilize the outside knee. So when a guy's in the pass rush stance, the first thing that's going to move on the offensive lineman is the outside knee. If that outside knee moves and he goes back in his stance, he's going to false start. All right, so the outside knee. You're still eyeing the ball through your peripheral. The best pass rushers can use their peripheral vision. So if you can't use your peripheral vision, and how you do it is you use different drills. You use different things to get these guys to see that. You use tennis balls to get off the rock. You use the ball to get off the rock. You use sound to get off the rock. You have to utilize these in practice so you can get your guys going to where they need to go. All right, the most important thing is your get off, your first step. Your first step is the most important part of your rush. The most important part of your rush. Without a first step, you won't make a lot of things happen. All right, there's not a guy with 10 plus sacks, double-digit sack guys. You've never seen a double-digit sack guy that doesn't have a good get-off. It doesn't exist. All right, so what I teach my guys, the only plan you should have when you line up on third down is to react. It's to react. You can't go down and say, I'm going to use a club rip here. Now, what happens when he jumps at you just now? All right, you can't say I'm going to spin right now, because what happens if he sits on your back hip the whole time? You can't say I'm just going to run past him, because what happens if he sits on your back foot and rides you past the quarterback? All right, I got to be able to notice what kind of set I'm getting from the passer. So, like I said, you got to identify your pass sets. You got to identify the jump set. You got to identify the kick. You got to identify the horizontal set. So, without being able to do that, if you don't understand that, if you don't identify it and you have a plan for your rush, you'll fail tremendously. Like I said, you can watch all the double-digit sack guys. You'll never see the same move consecutively. All right, you're going to see a switch up in everything that they do. So, be prepared to react. And how you teach reaction is by allowing them to utilize this time and get reps. So what we teach here is you're going to race to the apex of the rush. And why I say race to the apex of the rush, because what it's going to do, it's going to eliminate your plan. Because if your initial plan is to get to the apex of the rush, that means you have to take them. That get off has to be quick. The apex of the rush is that turning point. All right. So if your turning point in the corner is past the quarterback, that means I have to get back down. It's okay to lose to the apex of the rush, because if I get there, if I lose, that means I'm parallel with the quarterback. I put my foot in the ground, I come back. If I win to the apex of the rush, I stick with my outside foot. I'm going open with my inside foot. Then I'm going to stick again. That's why I would say here, you got three steps to turn the corner. Plant, open, and stick. So that's what I teach them. You plant here with this outside foot. You should open here with here, and this is where you'll stick, okay? So make sure you use 3 steps to turn the corner. More than 3 steps to turn the corner, you'll never get there. If you study anybody, if you study any pass rushers, especially the outside backers, Von Miller, Max Crosby, Aiden Hutchinson, count the steps that's going around the corner. It's a stick, it's an open, and a close. All right? So we go here. Active hands is the key to successfully executing any kind of thing. Like I said, if you get to the apex of the rush and they cut you off, apex of the rush to cut you off, you're not going to be able to just come back downhill. And that's what a lot of our defensive linemen, especially at the high school level, their hands are not active. They're not moving their hands. They're not utilizing their hands. A lot of them run around the passer. They don't get there clean with just a simple rip move. The rush is invalid, okay? So be able to make sure, teach the counter. So I'm going to show you some drill tape. I actually coach on the offseason. I do defensive line training. So I'll show you some drill tape. Some are high school guys, some college guys. So I'll show you some drill tapes, and this is just the simple stuff that we use simple stuff that we do. We teach hands, we teach flexibility. I use things to keep their hands up. So I'll show you this right now. And I'll talk to it too. I'll narrate it. PVC, it's gonna utilize, open the hips up. Make sure get the hips, hamstrings loose. Most important things about pass rushing. We utilize the hurdle to get up, to stay low, fire off.
Change the direction, being agile, being able to open your hips and move. Now we use the medicine ball to keep our hands high, emphasizing the importance of forceability and agility.
You see, stick, open, stick, open, stick, open. We always finish with a rip and reach. Counter.
But finishing at the top of the rest. Keeping our hands active, leaving no room for recovery. Now we use the PVC pipe to create muscle memory. It provides us with a smaller target, and it forces us to keep our eyes open and keep our hands active, using the same moves that we implemented in the drill work today. And one of the key parts about this is your shoulder work. Get that back shoulder out the way, making it difficult on your opponent. We end every session with conditioning. A tired pass rusher is a useless pass rusher.
And that's the key thing. A tired pass rusher is a useless pass rusher, because the thing about being a pass rusher, it's the best in the game because you only have to win 4 plays. You got 80 plays, you win 4, you'd have had a great game. Okay? So if you got a guy that continues to get off the ball every play, make sure they're running everywhere. When you're doing your drill work, your defensive lineman, nobody should be touching your quarterback, especially if they get a clean rush. They should be finishing 15 yards down the football field. Okay? We're the kind of guys that, because why you have to do that, and I'll explain it here. Well, no, that's the next one. But you have to be able to finish down the football field because you won't be susceptible to screens, draws, and all that other stuff. But I'll hit that point next. Now, as from a defensive standpoint, all right, I'm the defensive coordinator as well. I don't just teach the D-line. So you got to find the fish, okay? You got to be able to find the fish. And when we find the fish, you better be able to exploit the fish. Now, when we utilize, how we get to the fish, we twist away from the fish. All right, we'll twist to the fish or away from the fish. When we twist away from the fish, I want my best guy on the fish, and now the fish is on the island by itself. All right, so we'll utilize twist, we'll utilize blitz, because we're going to eliminate the possibilities of you being able to double team our guys, or the possibility of you be able to help our guys with that offhand. So we use blitzes to exploit the fish, we use twist to exploit the fish. Here go one of ours, our text, and you see the fish here. I'll play it back. Here goes our fish right here. Everybody in America knows who the fish is. One more. Everybody knows this is our fish right here, okay? This is our fish. Notice, you see all our guys standing up. Like I said, pass rushing is the reward, okay? This is a Mike linebacker, that's the outside linebacker. This is the edge guy, that's the edge guy. Now, all of this here, like I said, let the kids have fun. Let them try out things. This whole segment, if you get the third down and we practice it all week, I don't call nothing but the front. Y'all get to go out here and do whatever you want. And that's the trust that you establish with the kids. And when you do that, once you teach them the rules, establish the trust, they'll handle business for you. All we know, but I know that I tell them this, we're playing man in the backside, so you got 2 seconds to get to him. If you don't get to him in 2 seconds, you lose your responsibility. So you see, they'll get to him in 2 seconds. Uh-oh. All right, so we go here, contain the QB. Contain the QB. That's the most important part about pass rushing, okay? Being able to contain the QB. All right, so you got to get them to understand. I don't understand how y'all teach it, but how we teach it is we eliminate the run gaps. We play shoulder, peck, shoulder, okay? Understand that. If you're on that outside guy, you're responsible for this shoulder. If you're the inside guy, you're responsible for this peck. If you're the inside guy, you're responsible for this peck. If you're the other edge, you're responsible for this shoulder. That's the elementary way. Like I said, I give them free reign. So I don't care what goes on. I know at the end of the rush, I better have somebody on this shoulder, that peck, and that shoulder, or we're gonna have issues. Okay. So basically, you're assigned to the lanes based off the QB's shoulders and your shoulder leverage, right? So the most important thing, especially in high school football, and you seen that them trick plays, them leverages that they were talking about, being able to stay on that upfield shoulder, especially if you're teaching pass rush, cut, boot, reverse should be the first thing a defensive end learns every time. And like I said before, we go with the The stick, the open and stick, it's the same thing if you're on the edge. You're going to stick, you're going to open, and you got to stick. But you got to keep the leverage of that shoulder. So basically, especially running backside, you need to say top shoulder. All of these here, you should get a spin backside of here. It's because it's wrong shoulder. It's because they're not taught properly. All right, that's on us as coaches. That's not on us, them as players. Now, when it happens again, it becomes a them as players problem. But you have to implement the drill work to be able to know to stay on this upfield shoulder, because once you're running, I'm on the shoulder, coach, but you're on the wrong shoulder. Okay, so be able to make sure they understand that. And here we go. We go containing the quarterback. So we use an Oklahoma twist. So now what you're going to see here is you're going to see these guys are going to bluff. But what they're going to do, they're containing the quarterback. We're going to let the twist happen inside. All right. And why I say that is when the twist happens inside, this twist can end up here, and he might have to fill in and get this pec now. Or this twist can stay tight, and I'm still on this shoulder. So you'll see these guys here. We're going to pull the action away here because we know the center is the fish. So you can't get help from either one of your tackles. So we took these two versus these three. And you see how he goes upfield and he folds back in. So just the importance is teaching them the game, letting them know where you're at, the leverage that you're supposed to have, where you're supposed to be on the football field. As long as all four of these is covered, I don't care how you get there. All right. All right. The last one, we got counters. All right. Awareness. All right. You got to be able to identify the double teams and the threats accordingly. So basically, you can't allow your guys to line up and just think I'm going to rush the quarterback and it's a tight end or an H-back. It's a tight end or a back. You got to be able to know the game. You're supposed to know everything that's going on. Change the direction. You've seen the change of direction drills in the drill tape. So being able to put your foot in the ground and go, being able to stick, being able to utilize your spin if you have that, being able to put your foot in the ground, come back underneath, staying outside, knowing that you're not going to get there. All right, that's the biggest thing that people don't understand. If I know I'm not going to get there, why am I going to continue rushing up the field? All right, stay hack. We're going to put our hands up. How I teach hands up, we go inside hand. I don't want you off the ground, but it's high school football. You're going to get kids that's going to jump off the ground. But if you do jump off the ground, you better make sure you contain the quarterback. So you'll see some guys come off the ground, you'll see, but the inside hand should be up and mirror the quarterback's throwing arm. All right, so you won't win every rush, but the thing about it is the key to it is running to the football. All right, you have to run to the football. Like I said, you got to be able to run down screens. You got to be able to get to you got to be able to run down the draw. You got to be able to cut the tape on for a college coach, and you see your defensive end run down a post route from a receiver that's cutting back across the field too much. And all of that's implemented in practice. And like coaches said, it's all about the culture you create. If you stand for that, that's what they'll do. If they trust you, they like you, they love you, they feel like you got their back, they'll run through a wall for you. They'll run 50 yards down the field for you. So just embrace being that guy that they trust, that's caring about them off the football field. And all of this will come. The guys that they don't follow on the football field is the guys they don't trust in real life. You know what I'm saying? So like Coach Roy said, like Coach from Liberty said, from Kaufman said, you have to be the guy that they love, the guy that they believe in, the guy that they embrace. And if you are that guy, everything that you teach them, they're going to at least try it. And once they try it, if they trust you, it's going to stick with them. All right. So you'll see one of these. Run to the football. Good things happen when you run to the football. Defensive end. You'll see a defensive end here. It's a screen to the left. They're about to go in and score. He flies. You get here. You strip. Now we get the football back. All right. The score was 3-14. It been 10-14. End up turning in 21-3. We end up winning this game 42-12. So the next one, same guy. You can't get there, get your hands up. All right. Can't get there, get your hands up. This is a great play. This is an acrobatic play. I don't know how he made it, but he did it. Tip pass and caught an interception. All right. It's a guy playing for his senior year, a guy that'll run through a wall for you. So with that being said, that's all I got. But I just want y'all to know that if you want to rush the passer, all right, it has to start. It's a mindset. And it has to be a mindset that's embraced by the whole team, but it cannot be a me thing. It's a we accolade, because at the end of the day, everybody benefits from it. Appreciate y'all for having me.